right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know, you didn't need to see yet. All right. So I would like you to open your workbook to pages 7 and 8. What? Say that again, Mrs. Oven. Oh, yes, I have not quite gotten there yet. I forgot. It's okay. Now you should be co-host. All right. So we really quickly want to go over the answers for yesterday's questions. You guys worked really hard, especially my friends on remote. I hear worked really, really hard. And my friends in the room worked really, really hard. But some of us got a little distracted here, having somebody next to you to work with. And so some of us didn't get quite as far. So we're going to go through these pretty quickly. So I should see pencils ready and ready to fill in if you did not get the answer already. Okay. And many of you did not. So get those pencils ready. All right. So we started with the first one. All right. The first question was, what does one well mean? And why do you think that? And we mostly wrote in that one well means that that all the water is connected, or all the water comes from one source. And then then the because part, because it mentions that all of the water, they uses the word all, and that in one well, so one place. So those use of those words really were helpful. So make sure you get that answer in there for me. Then we talked about the illustration. The illustration supports our answer because it looks as if the water in the picture is connected. It has all those different parts. It had an ocean, appears to be the ocean, a river, a lake, a pond. All of it is on that one spot. And some of it is visually connected right there. And it also did show one well that somebody was getting water from. Mr. Ryder, thank you. I hope you're helping. All right, so it says the number 2, it says, so there really just is one source of water, one global well. What do you think global means? And remember, we actually came up with what the word global was when we talked about things on Tuesday. What does global mean, Mr. Ryder?
Global means around the world.
Around the world. So our definition that we have is related to the whole world or the whole planet. So that global means the whole world. Should this just be 2 words though? Really? No, you should be writing what? Complete sentence, but I'm just doing this so we can get through it pretty quickly. So whole world or planet. When it says one global well, it's for the whole world, the whole planet. All right, and then we looked it up in the actual dictionary, and it focused more on that that global it had the word globe, right? Instead of the word global, it had the word globe. And in this case, a globe is a spherical representation of the planet Earth, right? It's a circular, spherical. Sphere means like that round shape, right? But 3D. So it was a sphere, which represents the whole world. That was the dictionary definition. But we know in this case, since it says global, that it represents the whole planet. Okay. All right. So we went through that. The next question asks us about, it says every raindrop and snowflake. This is the top of page 7. And every bit of ice in the glaciers. What are glaciers, and what strategies did you use to determine the meaning of the word? What strategies might we use to figure out what a glacier is? And what do you think a glacier is? Mrs. Harrison actually gave us the definition on Tuesday, but you had to work on it on your own. It's not up there yet, Mr. Wright. Mr. Writer was looking at our vocabulary page or our vocabulary area, because I will put those up at the end of today for sure. Haley, what is a glacier? What'd you guys decide?
A glacier is something that is snow put together to make big ice.
Oh, I like how you said that. Ice pushed together, right? Or snow pushed together to make some ice. What did you say, Miss Madison?
Glaciers are big blocks of ice.
Big blocks of ice. All right, very good. Serne, what did you guys write?
I didn't get anything. I just telling you, I didn't get the.
Okay, so you're gonna have to write as I'm talking, my friends. I'm sorry, we gotta move through this quickly, so you're just gonna have to get some short ideas down, okay? That's what we're doing now, is we're going over those short ideas. Charlie Carr? They are different shapes. You're right. It's not like a big ice cube, right, that we get out of the refrigerator, right? So this was our official definition. If you need a definition, here you go. And a glacier actually moves. It moves super, super slowly. So the human eye cannot tell, but over a year, it might move just, as little as a couple of inches. But over time, it is a moving entity. So slowly moving pieces of ice formed by compacted snow. So like you were saying, Miss Haley, right? The snow that's been pushed together. And if it snows a little bit, then more snow comes on it. Have you ever had to shovel snow, my friends at home? Have you ever had to, and it's heavy, isn't it? So snow on top of snow, on top of snow, on top of snow, you can imagine it gets pretty heavy, doesn't it? And it's got layers, and that heavy snow pushes on the snow underneath it, and that's how we get that compacted snow, glacier. There we go. All right, what are some of the sources of water in our global well? What were some of the places that the water came from? Many of you did not actually get to this question, so I am going to show you in the book again on page 4 where it said, all right, so we're one global well from which we all draw our water. Every ocean wave, every lake, stream, and underground river, every raindrop and snowflake, every bit of ice and glaciers and polar ice caps is part of this global well. All right, so what are some of those things we should write down on number 4 then? Sunny, what's one? Lakes. Good. Another one. Ryder.
Showering.
Say it one more time.
Showering.
Okay, no, this comes from the text. You have to get it from the text. Showering is not in this paragraph. We humans do use the shower to, but in this case it says, this is where we're getting our information is from the text at this time. So what are some of the sources of water in our well? Ms. Marin. Underground river. Jensen Cook.
Ocean waves.
Ocean wave. Good. What else? Let's see. Yep, I'm doing good. All right. Astria. Ponds. Okay. They didn't list ponds, but you could have gotten that from the picture though, right? The illustration. So I'll take that one because they have that one on the illustration. Try really hard. Oh, that kind of worked. All right, Elena, what's another one? River. Yep. They said underground river, but they also, we could see a river. We can see a river on the illustration. Haley? Snow. Because it said snowflakes, didn't it? And we know that that's how that some of the water travels around the earth, right? We're going to get some this weekend, and it came from somewhere else. It's not snow from here. That weather that's coming has come from far, far away. That's that same weather that if you saw the flooding that happened in Hawaii got inches and inches and inches of rain from the same weather system that's now going to give us snow. So when we talk about that water is really from our whole planet, if you think about it, that same storm is bringing us precipitation. That same storm dropped all that stuff on Hawaii, all that rain on Hawaii. So it's all connected. Lila Maris.
What about every mountain river?
Every mountain river, that would count. Very good. Gabe, what else did you have? Glacier. Yep. All right. All of that goes together. You don't have to have all of those. They just said what are some of the sources. So you did not have to write down all of them. You just needed to write down some of them. It says, so whether you are turning on a faucet in North America, what do you think a faucet is? We talked about that word as well. What is a faucet? Miss Elena, what's a faucet? A sink? Well, that's the sink is the part where the water comes into, but the faucet, right. It's the part of the sink that the water comes out of. You're right. And so we said a water tap. That was the official definition, but this has, so what do you think a faucet is? So you could say where the water comes from in a sink. Going to use, now this should be a full sentence, shouldn't it be? So you should be really saying a faucet is where the water comes from in a sink. I'm going to write down what Miss Elena thought, but then you looked up, if you look it up in the dictionary, it officially says a water tap. All right. So it says, why is it important to think about how we treat the water in the well? Why is that important? Why, Miss Sunny, is it important? We need the water and the water won't be clean. Okay, so that's what Sunny added. All right, Miss Astria, what do you think?
Because it affects every species on Earth.
Oh, you remember from yesterday when we were talking about, we broke that sentence up. That was a really important sentence, right? Because that water will not be available. It is important because there's our word, because our red word. So everybody should spell that correctly, right? And so part of our was one of our red words. So make sure you're spelling it correctly. It's important because it affects every species that needs every species on Earth, right? And they all need clean water. Fitting yours in there, Sunny.
Oh, am I supposed to write this down?
You are supposed to be writing your answers, yes. That's why we're going through them. All right, please do. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. But we're talking through them, getting those answers, getting those ideas. So, because today we're moving on to some more words, some more of a different page, and we are going to come up with. I'll take away faucet here. We'll be we're going to read a new page. We're going to find out some more information, and we're going to look for a main idea and our supporting details. You'll be doing that on your own pretty soon, and we're going to go over some other questions and do some discussion. We may not be able to do them in small groups today. We'll have to just see how the time goes. Might be quicker to just do them together. We'll see. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully you've got some ideas down on those pages. So here, oh my goodness, I have no idea why. Oh, that's why, because it was on this page right here. I was like, why is that page up there? All right. Our learning targets for today, since we have now finished the ones from yesterday, I can determine the main idea and supporting details of a text read out loud. I can explain the function of pronouns. So yesterday we focused on nouns, right? Today we're going to look at that same sentence and we're just going to look, but we're going to mostly focus on the pronouns. And we kind of did that yesterday a little bit. So it'll go pretty quickly. And then I can use the text to answer questions about a couple more pages. You're going to be able to look through those pages after I read it aloud in a couple of minutes. All right, so that's where we are. All right, so I'm going to read the pages 6 and 7 aloud. I would like you to just be good listeners to start with, okay? All right. But you will eventually get to open your book and look at them yourselves. Go ahead and close that for right now, Miss Abby, because this part of our reading standards that we have, it also not only is it about you being able to read, it's also about you to be able to listen and gather information from listening as well. So we're combining those standards today. All right, so this section is called the water in the well. Okay. I will read it twice, so no worries if you don't catch it all in the first place, all right? But what I do want you to think about is I'm going to ask you what you think the main idea is, right? Because that's what one of our learning targets is today. So think about what is the main idea? What does the author want you to really understand from this page? All right, here we go. The water in the well. We live on a watery planet. Almost 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, and even puddles, and the morning dew. There is so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. But there is also water we can't see beneath the Earth's surface. This groundwater can be found just about everywhere. It fills the cracks in rocks and spaces between rocks, grains of sand and soil. Most groundwater is close to the Earth's surface, but some of it is buried quite deep. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps, and there is water in the atmosphere. Every one of these water sources feeds Earth's one well. Oceans comprise about 97.23%. So 100% is all the water, right? So 97% is oceans. And what did we say about the oceans? Do we drink that water? The ocean water? No. So, no. So if 100% of our water, 97 of it, a little over 97, is ocean, about how much is left then? 3, right? 100 minus 97, about 3. So listen to the rest of them. Ice caps and glaciers, which are what form are they? They're frozen, right? Okay, and are we drinking that water, the ice caps and glaciers? No. So they take up 2.14%. Are ice caps and the glaciers. Groundwater is then 0.61%. So less than 1%. Freshwater lakes, are you ready for this? 0.009%. Inland saltwater seas, 0.008%. Moisture in the soil, 0.005%. Water in the atmosphere. So that's the moisture that, like when you feel it's like humid outside, or when we go outside in the spring and there's dew on the, on the grass, that particular water ended up getting cold enough to be able to condense on the grass. That's 0.001%. So rivers produce 0.0001%. So there is more water in the atmosphere and soil than there is in all of the Earth's rivers. Atmosphere is the air around. All right, so what I want you to do is remember how we had in our EL spiral. we had that page that we started writing down the things that we were wondering and thinking about. I want you to open that up. Right. I want you to write a sentence down. What are you thinking about now that I've read that to you? Or what surprised you? What are you thinking? So your EL spiral. Yes, sir. Go grab it. EL spiral.
So, what are we writing down?
No, you're not. So this is not in your KWEL, although I'm hoping to get to that at the end today. Just the page that you started your ideas on from the other day. It's not your page that has the little sections. I asked you on Tuesday to write down some of your ideas. And some of you wrote questions. Some of you wrote things that surprised you. What surprised you? Mr. Lennox, we're not worrying about our workbook quite yet. Oh, is that your spiral? That's your spiral? Thank you, sir. Very good. We're going to share in a moment, my friends at home. I might pick a popsicle stick. So make sure you have something you're interested in sharing. I'm going to read it one more time while you're writing and thinking. So you can hear those things again. I will talk a little less about that. Just read. Here we go. We live on a watery planet. Almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered in water. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, and even puddles, and the morning dew. You're writing down what you think is interesting or what you found surprising. There is so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. But there is also water we can't see beneath the Earth's surface. This groundwater can be found just about everywhere. It fills the cracks in rocks and spaces between rocks, grains of sand and soil. Most groundwater is close to the Earth's surface, but some of it is buried quite deep. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps, and there is water in the atmosphere. Every one of these water sources feeds Earth's one well. Yes, there is more water in the atmosphere and soil than in all of the Earth's rivers. Nope. They're just writing down. So on Tuesday, we wrote just some things we were wondering or things that we were thinking about. It was from Tuesday. It was just like a sentence, something that surprised them. Okay, you should not be on your KWEL, friends. We're not adding to that yet. It's not, that's where you wrote it, Mr. Yep, you can just find a blank page. That's fine. All right, so Miss Bird, you're over there busily writing. What did you decide to write? If you are, and so Birds wrote, if you go to space, you'll see mostly all water. Good. Paxton, what are you thinking about? Same as Bird, the planet looks very watery. Okay. Mr. Jensen, it's your turn. What are you thinking about this section? What surprised you, or what did you learn from this page? Mr. Jensen, if you'll share with me, that would be great. Mr. Jensen, like if you could unmute and tell us something that you heard from this section that you would like to share. All right, Mr. Jensen, can you hear me now? I'm asking you to share something you heard from this section that you like, that surprised you or that you're wondering about. Okay, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you because of the earphones, I think. You know what? Go for it, Jonathan. Can you put it in chat for Mrs. Aubin? She'll share it for you. You can do that for me. All right, Ben, share for me. What are you thinking about?
Or I was just gonna ask you, can I say what I learned? Or no?
Yeah, yes, tell us what you learned. Yes.
So my sentence is, I learned about there is 97% of ocean in the world.
Very good. Good listening skills, Mr. Ben. Excellent. That 97% of our water is in the ocean. Very good. Henrik, what did you learn? Or what surprised you? What were you thinking? 70%. Good listening skills. 70% of our earth is covered in water. So, Sen, I think, wasn't one of your questions you asked earlier in the week, how much of the earth was water? Yeah, so there you go. There's an answer to your question, huh? 70%, so more than half. Almost 3/4 of our planet is water. Miss Ellie, what do you want to share? There's more water in the atmosphere than in the rivers. Can we see that water? No, but it's there. That's pretty amazing. Elena, what did you think? You cannot see all the water on Earth. Awesome. So we can see it from space and it looks very watery, but we can't even see some of it, right? Awesome. That's going to come in handy, Elena, when we come for our main idea. Okay, will you remember that? All right, Abby.
Your body is made of, your body is 95%.
Okay, so does that come from this part of the text though? No. So Abby was mentioning that our body is made up of a lot of water. That didn't come from this page of text, so hold that thought. Lila? Oh, I hear a lot of side conversations. It's hard to hear.
I wrote down there's more water in the air and soil than in all of Earth's fruit.
All right, so Lila really focused on that. There's more water in the atmosphere and in the soil than in the rivers. Gabe, what surprised you or what'd you learn?
There is more water in the atmosphere than on land.
Yes, very good. Awesome. What else? How much water? So you're thinking about this water. We know that fresh water is what we need, right? So how much water can we drink? Okay. That's okay. Thank you. All right. So this is what I would like you to do. I want to have you on page in your workbook. It's page 8. Page 8 in your workbook. Miss Harrison's blank one seems to be gone. All right. Page 8, you're going to find a page that looks a lot like this one here. Oh, you can't see because I got the stock camera on. Sorry, friends at home. You can't see the page. There you go. Page 8 in your workbook. And Mrs. Harrison's copy seems to have left the building. All right. So what do we think the main idea of this? So there's our main idea. What is the main idea of pages 6 and 7? Mr. Ryder, I think I'm going to have you come join me up here with your book, please. Thank you. Go ahead and bring that workbook and your pencil up here and have a seat next to Ms. Surnay. All right. All right. What do we think our main idea is? What does the author want us to really understand from one basic sentence about what do you think the author really wants us to know? Lila Maris, what do you think?
I think the author wants us to know that there's a lot of water in the earth and you can't smell it.
Ah. So wow. Give me a thumbs up if you agree or disagree. I was gonna expect that this was expect that there was going to be a lot of discussion about this, but you did a really good job of just nailing it on the head first thing, Miss Lila. Awesome job. So the basic idea, Earth has a great deal of water, but we can't see it all, right? We can see some of it, but not all of it. So Earth has a great deal of water that we can see and also not see. All right. You can put that in your own words too if you want. Earth has a great deal of water that we can see and that we cannot see. And now we need to find some ideas that will help us support that. All right. So I'm going to let you get that written down. Ms. Haley, give me a thumbs up when you've got that written down for me. Oh, yeah, okay. Got that whole sentence in there, my friend? You're fast. Wow, Ms. Haley, you're a fast writer. Ben's doing good, writing it down. Mr. Gavin, you getting that written down for me? Awesome. And Lyric's working hard. Miss Isabella, how's it going? You getting that written down? Mr. Leo, how's it going? Awesome. Mr. Ethan, hopefully you're getting that down as well. Mr. Logan, how's it going? All right. Astria, how's it going? She's busy writing? Okay. Mr. Lucas, did you get all that down? My friend, Mr. Charlie, did you get that all down? Okay. Give me a thumbs up in the room if you got that down too. All right. So if that is our main idea, which Lila so eloquently gave us, all of that page was about that we have a lot of water, but we can see some of it, but we can't see all of it. So I'm going to read it one more time. And I don't want you reading with it. I just want you listening. But you remember what you're supposed to put here? You're supposed to jot down anything, right, Paxton, that you hear that supports our main idea. Okay? This is our note catcher. This is just where we're going to catch our notes. And on the other side, we're going to write the actual sentences from the text. So you're just going to jot some ideas down over here. Okay? Okay, Mr. Noah, sound like a deal? Yeah. All right, I'm going to read it again. Here we go. So you have to, pencils ready to jot some ideas down when you hear them. We live on a watery planet. Almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, and even puddles and the morning dew. There is so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. But there is also water we can't see. Beneath the Earth's surface, this groundwater can be found just about everywhere. It fills the cracks in rocks and spaces between rocks, grains of sand and soil. Mr. Finn, you're jotting the ideas down. Most groundwater is close to the Earth's surface, but some of it is buried quite deep. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. And there is water in the atmosphere. Every one of these water sources feeds the Earth's one well. Where is the water on Earth? Oceans, 97.23%. Ice caps and glaciers, 2.14%. Groundwater is only 0.61%. Freshwater lakes, 0.009%. Inland saltwater seas, 0.008%. Moisture in the soil, 0.005%. Moisture in the water in the atmosphere, 0.001%. And the rivers, 0.0001%. Yes, there's more water in the atmosphere and soil than all of the Earth's rivers. All right. Max Fox, what did you write down as a little note there to remind yourself of what is the supporting detail you heard?
That you cannot see all the water.
Cannot see all of the water. Okay. Because there was a sentence, right? And why can't we see it? Because it's
Underground.
underground. Good. Ellie, what else? Can't see the water in the atmosphere. So, and there's water in the atmosphere, what could be our sentence, supporting detail. What other things? Mr. Nixon, what did you write in that note section?
Almost 6% of water is
On the surface. Okay, good. Mr. Ryder, what did you write in the note section?
We can see most water, but not all.
We can see most water, but not all. Okay. Mr. Logan, what did you put on your note section there?
What?
What did you write on your paper right here for note taking? While you
I
were
wrote-
listening?
I wrote the same thing as Max Fox.
Okay, about the fact that it's underground. Okay, all right, Gavin, did you have anything different that you wrote in this section? No? All right. Okay, Miss Lila.
Mine, my second one that I wrote is all of the ocean water takes up 97.3% of Earth's water.
Very nice. Okay. All right. So if we said Earth has a great deal of water, how much of the Earth's water? Or Earth is water? How much? 70%. Okay, so take out your one well book. Now we're going to get to the part where we're actually writing the real text, right? To support our ideas. So turn to page 6 and 7, and that'll help us find all those numbers that we were searching for, right? So help us on page 7. Page 6 is a lovely picture of the Earth. Or drawing, not a picture. Sorry, really. It's an illustration, right? That somebody made. And so that it gives us, does it support our idea of if you're in outer space looking at Earth? Yep. Ryder, go ahead and grab your book. All right. So we live on a watery planet. That's a great sentence, but is that a supporting detail? No. Let's look at the next one. Almost 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water. Is that a good detail to go with our main idea? Yes, I have a lot of thumbs up on that one. All right. So Mrs. Harrison's blank paper seems to have gone the way of the dodo. So I'm going to write on the back of this. Oh, that one's already got writing on it. I'm just struggling today. Might have something to do with, I was doing 3 things at one time earlier and I probably shuffled it and here we go. All right, so this is my supporting details. You're writing on this section. All right, you're writing in that right-hand side, right here. All right, so we're looking at the text. 70% of Earth's surface. So, Miss Cernay, did you notice what I'm doing here? I'm writing what you're supposed to be writing on page, in this page 8. Thank you. The pages in the book and the pages in the workbook always confuse me. 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by what? By water. Did that come directly from our text? Yes. And that's technically they put almost. Almost, did you? Good, I missed it, sorry. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's look at the next sentence and say if we decide that that's important. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, and even puddles in the morning dew. Is that a good detail to support our main idea? Thumb up or thumb down? What do you think? Is that sentence important? I have some not sure's. So is it tells us what the water looks, what the water form is, but does it show we have a great deal of water? Not as much, no. So we're gonna skip that sentence there. Is it a good sentence for the author to share with us? Yes. But is it a supporting detail? Not necessarily. There is so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. Is that a supporting detail? Thumbs up or thumbs down, friends at home. What do you think? I'll read it again. If you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. Ah, there we go. Now I've got my thumbs up. Very good. So my next idea, this was 1. Now my next idea 2, there is so much water. Earth looks blue from where? From space. All right. Did I paraphrase that? Did I put it in my words? Yes? Can you do that? Yes. But where did we get that sentence really? From the text. Always get your information from the text. If you get it directly from the text, then all you need to do is quote it, right? Put those quotation marks. If you paraphrase, which is another word for using my words to represent the author's words, so we call paraphrase, then I don't need the quotation marks, do I? Because it's my words. But I got the idea from the text. Okay. All right. So let's see. Earth has a great deal of water. 70% of it's covered in water. Check. That definitely is a supporting detail. There is so much water that looks blue from space. Does that show how much water we have? Definitely. Let's look at the second part of our main idea. That we can see and also not see. So I talk about seeing the planet from space, right? We can see that water from space. What have I not covered yet in what I can't see, right? Aha. So what kind of water can we not see? What are some of the water? Paxton. The groundwater. Very good. So, so there is also water. Where is that water? What is that groundwater? Where is it? It's beneath the surface, right? Is beneath. Ooh. No. There we go. Unless you have x-ray vision, right? There's water. You can look down right now. Obviously, there's carpet, probably, or a wooden floor or something underneath you, some flooring. And under that is going to be the cement or the foundation of the building that we're in right now. And then underneath that, we're going to have some rocks and some soil, right? What's also underneath our feet right now? Water. There is groundwater right now beneath our feet. Can we see it? No. Especially if you're indoors, right? If you go outside, well, if you're standing in a puddle, you can see some water. But if you're just standing on the hill over here, is there water underneath it? Yeah, but can we see it? No, because we're walking on water. Deep water, though. All right. So there's also water beneath the surface called groundwater. What's another supporting detail of water we cannot see? What's another supporting detail? Air. What about air?
You can't see it because it's water.
Okay. So what from the text is our supporting detail, though? You're right. So we talked about groundwater, but you wanted to talk about atmosphere. Haley, where's that sentence that talks about atmosphere? And find that sentence in the text. Find that sentence in the text. So give you a hint, it's not towards the top. We're looking for a sentence that talks about the atmosphere, the water, also the water that we can't see.
It's at the very bottom.
Miss Abby, did you find it?
Yeah, found it. There is no more water than the atmosphere and soils than all of Earth.
All right, so you actually put a word no more, but if you look closely, there is more water in the atmosphere than all right, so should we, is that a good supporting detail for water that we can not see? Yes, I think that is. There is more water in the atmosphere, and we just said beneath us, right? And soil than in rivers. All right. All right. So you should have 4 basic ideas. Now, we could also get information from that section where they have all those numbers as well. If we wanted to add a 5th one, which one would make the most sense with our main idea? If you look at those numbers, which one goes with our main idea? Earth has a great deal of water that we can see and also not see. Do any of those numbers, do we want to throw any of those in? Lennox, what do you think? Well, we did that. Yep, we did that up the top. We did that in number 1. But I mean the numbers that are here, this section that's this list of data right here. Is there anything in there that you might want to add to a supporting detail? Anybody? We don't have to, but we just want to look at all of our information and see if there's anything that supports it. What do you think, Lila?
The oceans take up 97.23% of Earth's water, and groundwater takes up 0.61%.
Okay, so you want to break it down. How about we just use the biggest one? Does that make sense? How about we say oceans are, I'm going to say over 97% of our water, because I bet some people are running out of room. Okay. Okay. Now, I have a question. Should you write down every sentence on this page as a supporting detail? No. An author, well, you shouldn't, because the author usually uses some of the sentences to support their main idea, but some of those sentences are also to explain those supporting details, right? So if we just put all of the sentences in here as our supporting details, you just want to pick the ones that are most obvious that go with your main idea. Because we could write down all of the sentences, and certainly they go with the main idea, but we're looking for the ones that directly support it, okay? I'm letting you, so this is what I'm wanting you to know, is that in the very near future, we are going to have you read a section or listen to a section, and then we're going to ask you, what is the main idea and what are some of the supporting details? And you're going to have to do that independently, right, Miss Sunny? That's how this works, right? We always do something together, and then I ask you to do it alone and see if you've got the right idea, right? So supporting details are just a few of those sentences that directly show this is what the author really wanted us to know, that the earth has a lot of water and that we can see some of it, but we can't see all of it. Now, the way you write that does not have to be, there's not one particular way that that main idea has to be written. You're going to write that in your own words, but the words that go, the supporting details are going to come directly from the text. Does that make sense? Your overarching idea is going to be in your own words, but your supporting details are going to come from the text because you're showing basically, how did I figure this out? Well, I figured it out because of these ideas. All right. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm back to your dictionary. You do have a picture of that too. The illustrations are also important when you're reading through this book, One Well, because you'll notice that, especially from yesterday's, right? We even talked about the illustrations. How does it show? So we always want to make a good chance to look at it and see what the illustrations always back up whatever the main idea of a page is. All right, so you also have some questions that are on page, is it page 9? Okay, perfect. Again, my copy seems to have gone with the wind. All right, so let's look at page 9. And you have a question there that says, what is surface water? Top of page 9. What is surface water? Anybody have any ideas? What is surface water?
I have an idea of surface water.
You do, Mr. Fox? What is it?
So surface water is like it's on the surface, like groundwater, like in the ground. The surface water, like on the surface.
Okay, so you're using, I'm understanding what you're trying to tell me, but you're using that surface word to describe what surface means. And that makes it hard for somebody who might not know what that word means. So you're right, it is water that's on the surface, but what does surface itself mean, Abby?
Top, or like you have bedrock kind of, and then the top is like thin grass layer, bedrock, and thin grass layer.
Okay. All right. Robert, also add some more to it.
It's like the upper layer or something, like the top or something. Like
I like that. It's the edge, right? It's the top edge of the planet, right? The outside. So when we know groundwater, that's beneath the surface, right? But yes, you're right, the top layer, right? So what is surface water? It's water that's on the surface. And so it's the water that we can see. Isn't it the water we can see? Yes, so let's write that in here. The water that we can see. This is your page 9, just on the opposite side of the one you just filled out. All right, so surface water is the water we can see. Yes, it's the water that we can see. It's on the Earth's surface. It's on the top edge, right? What's an example of that? What's an example of surface water then, Haley? Ocean, perfect. Awesome. What is another one? What's another example of some surface water? Mr. Leo. What would be water that we could see? Ocean, what else?
Rivers.
Perfect. Rivers, excellent. Isabella, what's another one?
Water you can see.
Yep, oceans, rivers are the 2 answers we've gotten so far. It doesn't have to be liquid. It could be frozen. What do you think, Isabella? What frozen water can we see?
Ice.
Yeah, so like a glacier, right? Or the polar ice cap. Very good. All right, the next question down says, where is surface water found? Well, we just said where it was found, right? It's water that we can see, so surface water is above like soil, right? All right. It's above the ground. It's on the surface. It's on the outside area. You can describe it in your own words. No perfect way. Okay. And you can write now, give examples. Example, ocean, river, ice cap. Those are some of our examples.
Wait, do we have to write,
I'd love for you to write at least one example. All right. Then the next question says, well, then what is groundwater? So what is groundwater, Madison?
water that's on the ground?
Well, on the ground or? No, so that's the surface water. Groundwater. Underground. Good job. So what is groundwater? It's water that we can't see, right? Groundwater is water that we can't see. We can't see it because it's underground. And is it just in certain places? No, groundwater is everywhere. Groundwater is everywhere. But specifically, it's between, some examples, between rocks. And it's under the soil, right? Under your feet right now. Yes, ma'am.
So I know that surface water is water that you can see, but how is ocean water considered surface water? Because it's not on the surface.
It is on the surface. It is on the surface because if you are on the if you're in the ocean, the soil is and all the edge of the earth part that is underneath the water of the ocean, isn't it? Sometimes you have to go very deep to get to that part, but it's the crust of the earth there is definitely underneath all that water. Yeah, for sure. All right, question number 5. You have there, you have question number 5, right? It says, look carefully at the illustration. So what should you be looking at? This the page 6, right? Looking at page 6, you're going to choose one. Which of the following lines of text does the illustration help you to better understand? You're the reader, right? Underline the correct answer. This surface water is found in oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, marshes, and even puddles in the morning dew. B, yes, there's more water in the atmosphere and soil than in all of the Earth's rivers. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. Or D, there is so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. All right, did you make a choice? Make a choice and circle it. Or underline, it says underline it, you can circle it. Which one of those sentences do you think this picture best represents? Which one? All right, stand up if you think it's A. Stand up if you think it's B. Stand up. Oh, I have some halfway standers. Stand up if you think it's C. Stand up if you think it's D. Some of my friends did not move at home. I'm looking for you standing as well. Mr. Gavin, which one did you pick? A, B, C, or D? Oh, now you're standing, but which one did you pick, buddy? Can you tell me which letter? Go ahead and sit down. Let's find out. Which one, Gavin? I didn't hear you, sorry. All right. So if we look at this picture, what do you notice that are here? Planets. So where are we looking at this picture from? Space, right? So which one of these was more closely related to understanding if we look at the picture? The surface water, are we seeing oceans? Maybe. I see some oceans. Are we seeing lakes, rivers, streams, and marshes? No. So is it really A? No. Yes, there's more water in the atmosphere and the soil than all of the Earth's rivers. So isn't that the water I can't see? So would I be looking at the picture of things I can't see? No. How about sea? So I had quite a few people stand for sea. Water is also frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. Well, I do see some white, but is that white on the polar ice? So the polar ice caps would be, you know, would be here or here. What do you think that white stuff really is? Clouds. Are those polar ice caps or glaciers? No. So is our answer really C? Probably not. There's so much water that if you look down at Earth from space, it would appear blue. Your answer is D. Has to be D, my friends. Did you see how we eliminated our choices? All right, and our last question. How does the illustration help you to better understand the answer? What does that picture show? It shows us how blue it is, right? So what would you write there? I'm not going to write that one down. You write it in your own. Say it again, Josh. It shows us how blue the Earth looks, right? Excellent. I'm going to let you write it in your own words. I'm not going to write it down for you. You guys can do that one in your own. Oh, are we not using capitals? Guys, got to use those capitals. I know. It shows, needs a capital I. The illustration shows you can use the words from the question, right? If you're not sure how to spell illustration, what should you use? The text, the question right there. You can spell illustration correctly, right? All right, my friends, awesome job. So this is what I need. Oh, just before you go, I need everybody to listen. So ears this direction. So obviously, Mrs. Aubin and I are not meteorologists. We do not know what the weather is going to be like this weekend, but we are going to ask all of our in-person friends to bring home their books. No? Oh, not taking home our workbooks? Okay, so no, not at all. Okay. All right. Sorry, friends. I guess we'll hope that get to you. Okay. All right. Well, I just thought we were being safe. All right, my friends, I will see you later, and we'll see you for OBLOC and OG later today.